Hello, everyone, and welcome to my freak show. I'm so glad to have all of you here today because we're going to talk about American Horror Story Mortuary Episode 1. So, I apologize for yesterday. I cannot believe my internet went out. And if that happens again, I think I'm just going to have to actually do like a video or something like that. I don't know why it went down, but it did. So, okay. Before we begin, I just want to let everybody know this is all my creation. MaryGirl Moody made this. I did all the characters, the plot twists, the episodes, the dialogue, everything. So it's all copyright by myself. I learned the last time when I tried to solicit something to Hollywood and it did not work out in my favor. You need to protect your ideas. And my ideas here are protected. So no stealing. Okay, so let's start off with some main characters in this episode so you guys will kind of know what to think about. And I don't really remember where I got to yesterday. This will be an hour-long episode. I'm going to just go ahead and go through it again. And let's go. So the main characters that we have here is Lillian Hart. Everybody calls her Lily. And Sarah Paulson is the actress that plays her. Lily Hart is the co-owner of the Morningvale Mortuary and Cemetery, along with her brother, Thomas. They're very protective of each other. She is very highly intelligent, cold, calculating, but she can absolutely be charming and persuasive when she wants to be. She is desperate to leave Morningvale. Okay, so let's move on to Thomas. Thomas is very attractive. Thomas Hart is played by Evan Peters, and again, the co-owner of the Morningville Cemetery with his sister Lily. He is very good looking, very charming, and a lot of people really like him. He's strategic, and he knows how to make sure that people are taken care of and how their business can thrive, basically. Maya Bowen is Angela Bassett. We're going to meet her in this first episode. Maya Bowen is the widow of Carl Bowen, and the episode will open with Carl's funeral. They were married for like 40 years, sorry. And sadly, he died, and that's what episode 1 opens with, and Maya is his widow. Maya is very terrified of being alone, and sadly, her daughter is forced to stay with her, but she's initially very weak. She avoids problems. She picked really her husband as her choice in life and she's a retired nurse, but that really wasn't, her passion. So moving into Paula Bowen, that is Maya's daughter. Paula is 29 years old. She's a nurse and she's reluctant to return to Morningvale. She hates the place. She initially resist staying with her mother. Her brother guilts her into staying. He has a family in Washington and he cannot bring his mother there, and he doesn't have time to stay in Morningville, North Carolina with their mother. So Paula, unfortunately, is stuck there. She hates the place. Her relationship with her mother, Maya, is very strained. She sees her mother as very weak and passive. You're going to meet Frank Winters in this episode. Frank is like the town handyman. He is very kind. He is a genuinely kind person, and he works, at the hardware store and then make extra money. He does plumbing, small construction, car repairs, things like that for the citizens of Morningvale. I thought I told you not to talk, Alexa. So that is Frank. And then you need to meet Deputy Chief of Police Sally Kennedy. That is Billy Lord. Billy is a determined deputy chief to the chief of police. She was once a police officer, but her determination and everything just really kicked forward. And she definitely made it to the deputy chief. She investigates the Casket Man killings, and she's really stuck with it, to be honest with you. So Sally is again, as the town sees, a very good person. Her parents died when she was young, probably about 15. And Wade Foster, who was the chief of police, really kind of like took care of her. And let's go on ahead and let's move to him. Where is Wade Foster? Oh, There we go. Chief of Police Wade Foster is played by Billy Porter. And Sheriff Porter is a very hard man. He's a family man, but he's proud, he's devoted to his job, and believes in the law and demands justice. And sometimes, though, doesn't stick to his principle. Okay, so those are the main people that you really need to meet for the episode. Now, let's actually talk about the actual episode. And if there's anything you guys would like to say in the comments or whichever, please help yourself. I do apologize. I'm going to be keeping mostly an eye on my internet just to make sure it doesn't really go out. But I just want to say thank you so much, Parker P, for being here. I really appreciate it. Blaze, I love you. I miss you. I'm so glad you're here. Merman Eli, oh my God, thank you for being here. Long time no see too. And Zach, that guy, thank you. Work, but listen, you are incredible. All right, let's move into it. Episode 1 is titled Ashes to Ashes. And written by myself, obviously. Let me tell you very quickly about Morningvale. Morningvale in 1981 is a very picturesque small town in North Carolina with a population under 50,000. The town moves at its very own slow, steady rhythm, and it's nestled under the Black Mountains amid rolling hills and shrouded in mist, and it mostly feels untouched by time. It's a place where people nod politely. They keep their doors locked at night, and they speak in hushed tones about things better left forgotten. And things that they have definitely tried to forget are all the missing people that are never seen again, and just, poof, they're gone. The mysterious loud sounds in the dead of the night, old-timers talking about something falling from the sky and landing in the mountains nearby, and the alarming screams coming from the forest when the moon is full. So let's actually open the episode. First scene is May 1967. A young girl is running through the woods. Mary is 16 years old. Not supposed to be me. I just put the name in. She's 16 years old. She's extremely terrified. She's barefoot and in bloody clothes, and she stumbles over tree roots as she's running, and she's bleeding from her neck. Something is chasing her, but we don't see what it is. She clutches her side, gasping for air, just trying to stay quiet. But the branches start snapping behind her, and the sound of growling, deep, guttural growls kind of permeate the forest. And a shadow moves through the trees. It looks like this rabid dog searching for its prey. Mary whimpers and presses herself against a tree, trying to disappear, basically. And she thinks she's safe. She's tucked in there and her eyes are closed. But then the bushes ahead of her shake violently. Mary screams and just runs, trying to find some way out of the forest. Next scene is at Michael Kramer's house at the edge of town. Michael Kramer is Mary's boyfriend. He is 18 years old. He's sitting at his desk and flipping through the yearbook. He's about to graduate, actually. He stares at the picture of Mary. He's been thinking about her a lot, excited to see her tomorrow. He looks at the picture of the two of them kissing, and on his desk are love letters that Mary has written to him. But there's a sudden knock, knock, knock on the door, and Michael looks up, confused. It's a little past midnight, and the knocking starts getting more frantic. Michael's mom is upstairs sleeping, and he doesn't want to wake her, so he just goes to the door and opens it. Mary just collapses into his arms. She's pale, shaking, burning with fever. Her lips are cracked, her eyes are glassy, and she's basically already approaching death. There is a fresh bite mark on her neck, and she grips Michael's shirt. Her mouth is opening and closing. She's trying to say something, and she rasps, "Michael, dog." And Michael, he's shaking her. He's panicked. He's like, "Mary, what happened?" But she starts convulsing. Michael goes to pick up the telephone, and that's when Mary just suddenly gasps. Her eyes are wide, and her body just locks up. And she starts foaming at the mouth, choking, shaking. Then she goes absolutely still and limp. Mary is dead. Michael freezes, staring at the body. His breathing is ragged. He's shaking. He's confused. His mind is racing as he wonders what the fuck just happened in front of him. Now, again, his mother is asleep upstairs, but he's too scared to let her know what happened. He just basically wipes his mouth. His eyes are darting around. He's thinking, what does he do? Does he call the police? Does he call Somebody, does he call Mary's best friend? But then he realizes nobody would probably ever believe him. They would probably think that he killed her or had something to do with it, let alone he'd definitely be arrested. So Michael makes the stupidest mistake of his life and decides to hide Mary's body. He grabs his keys. Now we cut to Michael driving in the woods. He's sweating. He's checking the rearview mirror. Mary's body is in the back seat of his car, covered with his jacket. The radio crackles. There's some static, and the streetlights flicker as he drives. Michael parks deep in the forest, and he steps out of the car. His hands are just trembling as he grabs the shovel, and he just starts digging. Now, the dirt is very wet and thick, and you can hear it slosh. He keeps looking over his shoulder like he thinks somebody's there. But when he's done, he quickly throws Mary's body into this makeshift grave. Then he hears something. The camera will tilt up to the trees where a pair of glowing yellow eyes are watching him. The eyes accompany a very low, gentle humming sound. Michael tries to see if there's anything in the woods, but it's way too dark at this point. The clouds are covering the moon. And fear washes over Michael as he quickly fills the grave. Breathing heavily, he wipes his mouth and his face of the sweat. And finally, the clouds have moved and the full moon is out. So Michael looks up at the moon, and screams in agony over what he just did. The camera flies up into the air, indicating that Michael has buried Mary at the Morningvale Cemetery. Okay, so we cut to black, and then we get the AHS Mortuary title sequence, which if anybody would like to make maybe a cover or a title sequence, that would be so fantastic. That would make it so more real. Okay, so the episode opens after the title sequence in September 1981 at the Morningvale Mortuary and Cemetery, and the funeral is for Carl Bowen. He is 72 and the general manager of Prescott Fabrics. And Richard Prescott and his wife Evelyn Prescott are the biggest rich people in the entire town. They are it. They are the head honchos. Now, attending the funeral is Carl's family, friends, co-workers, employees, and so many others. It's a huge funeral. It's in a big section of the funeral home. Lily Hard, aged 40, blonde, tall, always dresses very professionally, half owner of the mortuary, stands up to address the mourners. She says, "On behalf of the Morningvale Mortuary, I extend my deepest gratitude to each of you taking your time to be here today as we honor the life of Carl Bowen. It is our solemn duty to ensure that every soul entrusted to our care is afforded the dignity, reverence, and remembrance they deserve. Here we provide not just a farewell, but a final resting place befitting kings, no matter one's station in life. May Carl Bowen find eternal peace, and may his memory endure in the hearts of his beloved wife, Maya, his children, Paula and Marcus, and all those who grieve his passing. Lastly, in 1 hour, we ask that you make your way to the vehicles in the driveway. They will escort you to the cemetery for the graveside service. Thank you." Now, Tom Hart, he's in his late 30s. He's short. He's super cute with this really sexy smile. He's very suave, charming. Again, he is Lily's brother and the half owner of the mortuary. He squats in front of Maya after the service and he whispers words of comfort while people start to stand. And he tells her that he's going to, she can take as much time as she needs before they leave for the graveside service. And he gives her a private room with Marcus and Paula so they can just have some time together. Okay, so in an hour, the cars pull up to the prepared graveside service. Maya, Paula, Marcus lead the mourners as they walk on the grass to the chairs that are facing the empty plot where Carl is going to be buried. It's a very beautiful section. A lot of flowers are set up. Of course, the chairs, pictures. It's got a nice canopy on top of it to protect people from the sun. But as the mourners settle, the camera focuses on a light brown rectangular object not far from the service site. When people realize it, they start wondering, what is that? And immediately see that it is a makeshift light brown coffin. Now, some people whisper, wondering if it's a new victim of the casket man. Maybe it's a mistake. Is that Carl? But Tom and Lily tried to just immediately shut that right down. They gently asked the mourners to go back to the cars and return to the funeral home. They informed the mourners that they'll be with them shortly and to just please enjoy the coffee, tea, and refreshments in the local parlor. In the main parlor. Tom turns to Lily and says, "Better call the police again. Tell them we found another one. At least this time there's a witness showing that we found it." Lily says, "Damn it. We couldn't have found this one first. Why did he have to leave them out in the open like this?" Tom says, "I don't know. I'll start patrolling the cemetery at dawn starting tomorrow." "He's getting closer to it, whispers Lily. Tom shakes his head in agreement. "Don't worry. I already got it taken care of. Now, you go call the police and get back in funeral mode." Tom looks at the casket, and we get a close-up of a handmade light wooden casket. The name Crichton Dunsworth and the name September 12th, 1981 is carved on the top of the wood. Tom scrunches his face as he backs away, leaving the cemetery. Now, in the next scene, after Lily calls the police, they've obviously got something huge going on. So Tom leads Maya, Paula, and Marcus into the same private room that's inside the funeral home. He begins. His voice is very even and soothing. So just pretend that I'm like that. "Mrs. Bowen, I am deeply sorry for this unexpected and distressing interruption. Please know that I take the greatest care in overseeing every aspect of our services. I personally ensured the graveside arrangements were set up last night. This morning, I walked the site myself to confirm everything was in order. I can assure you, had I seen anything amiss, I would have handled it immediately. On behalf of myself, my sister Lily, and everyone here at Morningvale Mortuary, please accept our sincerest apologies." Maya shakes her head. "Thank you, Mr. Hart, but this isn't your fault. You couldn't have predicted something like this, just like you can't control a madman. I appreciate your words, but I don't know what to do right now." Tom's tone remains gentle and reassuring as he says, "I completely understand. This is an incredibly difficult moment, and no one should have to make decisions like this under such distress. If I may, I'd suggest you and your family take some time. Go home, process everything, and decide what will bring you the most peace. Right now, we can't proceed with the graveside service as planned, but we can revisit this in a day or two if you wish." Excuse me. Maya shakes her head. "Thank you, Mr. Hart, but this isn't your fault." Oh, sorry. I started at the wrong place. Maya, her breath hitches as fresh tears fall. 2 days? I don't want to come back here. No offense, Mr. Hart, but the thought of prolonging this, I can't. I just can't. I was prepared to say goodbye to Carl today, to see Carl's coffin lowered in the ground. And now that's been taken from me." Tom places a steady hand on her shoulder. It's very firm and reassuring. "Mrs. Bowen, please don't feel pressured to decide anything right now. This is your time to grieve. There is no right or wrong choice." Maya lets out a shaky breath. "But I do have to decide. I can't speak for everyone. I don't know what's right for my children and the others who came here today." Paula inches closer to her mom. Her voice is filled with a quiet strength. "Mama, if you want to end the funeral now, then end it. It's okay." Marcus nods, echoing his sister. "Yeah, Mama, don't worry about everyone else. If you want to wait, we'll wait. If you want to go home and be done, we'll do that too." Now, Tom makes a very thoughtful pause and decision before speaking again. He offers a solution. He says, "Mrs. Bowen, I believe we can still honor Carl today while accommodating the circumstances. If you'll allow me, I can move the service to the east side of the cemetery. It's beautiful. It's a peaceful spot, and in 15 minutes, I can have the chairs, flowers, and the photographs that you requested all arranged there. Carl's casket can be placed at the new location, and we can just hold a very small, intimate graveside service." He softens his tone, carefully gauging her reaction as he continues. "Due to the ongoing investigation, we won't be permitted to lower Carl into the ground just yet. However, when the authorities give us clearance, I can personally notify you so you can return and witness the burial, should you wish. This way, you can have a sense of closure today while still having the opportunity to say your final goodbye when the time comes. Maya let out a long sigh of relief. That's perfect, Mr. Hart. Let's do that. Tom immediately stands up. Please help yourself to coffee, refreshments. I'll be back for you in no less than 15 minutes. Maya feels relieved Carl's funeral would actually be over today. Not tomorrow, not the day after that. Today. There was nothing else she longed for other than to return to her home and pretend that her husband is still alive. Now we shift to the cemetery where Deputy Chief of Police Sally Kennedy is interviewing Lily about the casket. Detectives Whalen and Lange are there, and I apologize. I should have told you guys this. Detective Whalen is played by Cheyenne Jackson. He is one of their most competent investigators, and he's very respected by Sally, but he definitely struggles with the weight of this case. And then we have Detective Bill Langley, who is played by Macaulay Culkin. He's sarcastic, he's lazy, he's a jerk, but he's really good at his job. And he's single, he's a ladies' man, and just really loves to be known in the town. Lastly, we have Officer Nancy Crane. That's played by Leslie Grossman. Nancy is new to the force. She's overworked, she's underappreciated, and she is intelligent. She's probably going to be the one that will break this case. She's very fun, flirty, silly, and will make good friends with Sally. And she is the first person to suggest that the casket man may be somebody they know. So, okay, let's just leave that back where it is. So get back to the episode. Detectives Whalen and Langley are there. They're taking crime scene photos, looking for prints, and doing general investigations. Rookie Officer Nancy Crane is questioning witnesses away from the gathering crowd. The canine police dogs barking in the forest surrounding the cemetery through their search. And naturally, Tom and Lily are suspects for the casket man by the police, but those two are not worried about it because they have other pressing matters at hand, and we will learn about that later. Chief of Police Wade Foster arrives at the scene and demands Sally get her shit together and get the casket out of the sight of the reporters and just the gathering people. Sally tells Foster that she can't move that fucking casket until the detectives are done finishing the crime scene. And she tells Foster that it's the same, it's a casket, exactly like the same one they found the night before in a different area of the cemetery. She knows they're related because both bodies follow the same pattern as the previous victims. Wade tells her to stop reaching and bring him facts, or else all she has is theories and no arrests. So Sally angrily turns away, talks to the detectives, and starts screaming at people to get back. Okay, now we go back to Maya. Maya is there with her best friend Deli and Deli's boyfriend Aaron. Deli is played by Glenn Close. She is a lady all on her own. She's been Maya's best friend of like 10 years. They met through work. She did hospital administration. Delilah did, and Paula was a nurse that worked there. She's very charming, outspoken, a man's lady, but she's so independent. She cannot even stay with Maya that same night. And then lastly, Aaron Worthington is Bruce Campbell. He, again, is Deli's boyfriend. He's the owner of the grocery store. He's very strict, ruthless, but he's got layers, okay? This man has got layers. So let's get back to this. So Maya is with Deli, Aaron, Paula, Marcus's family. They're all at Maya's house having coffee and cake with the mourners who came to the funeral. Little Rosie Prescott is 6 years old, and she sings Amazing Grace and Somewhere Over the Rainbow in a very respectful and tasteful way, while her big sister Danny, age 9, signs the words in sign language. It's very beautiful. Now, Maya is a wreck. Not only did her husband of 40 years die suddenly from a heart attack, but she's beyond hysterical that one of the casket man's victims is found at her husband's funeral. What are people going to say about that? Are people going to think that Maya's a horrible person for continuing the service despite a casket being found? How are they going to react to her choices? Why did this have to happen at Carl's funeral? It was her first major event without him, and she couldn't she couldn't basically think without Carl to be there as the voice of reason and logic. Now, Maya, in her grief and fear, asks her best friend Deli for help understanding why Carl died and left her all alone. And why did the damn casket man pick Carl's funeral to drop his next victim? Maya feels like she's living in a Stephen King novel. And Deli warns Maya that this isn't the first time something absolutely strange has happened in Morningvale. Deli encourages Maya to get drunk, cry her eyes out, and move on. Deli says Maya won't do herself any good by getting sick over a man. And this is when Maya chuckles and says, wait, don't you have a man? And Deli replies, I have a man when I want him. Maya nearly spits out her wine and says, don't you live with him too? And Delilah sheepishly looks at Maya and says, I live with him when I want to live with him. And the two share a laugh, but it moves Maya to cry because this is her first laugh after Carl has died. And she feels so bad that she just had this laugh. So Deli embraces her and whisper, words of comfort in Maya's ear. So meanwhile, inside, Nedra, oh yes, Carl's sister. She's just a minor character in episode 1, so I apologize. I didn't really pull her up before. She is a self-proclaimed psychic. So Carl's sister Nedra, again, Maya's sister-in-law, she's wandering around the house, reading people's auras, their palms, futures, and talking nonstop about the casket that was found at her brother's funeral. She says she wants to talk to the spirit of the person in the casket, but she must open herself up spiritually to receive their message. And at one point, she goes into this trance when the spirit of Batidi takes her over. And Nedra explains that Batidi is the spirit that connects Nedra to the spirit world. She says it's fascinating. But this is when Marcus pulls Paula aside, telling her that he's got to take his family home. He's got work. They have school. But he tells Paula to stay in Morningvale with their mom. He tells her that their mom needs somebody, and it's got to be Paula. Paula asks him why he just doesn't take their mom back to his house in Washington with their family. He says that their mom, Maya, doesn't want to leave the house that she shared with her husband. And he reminds Paula that she has nothing and no one for her back home except for her job. So she definitely has the time to stay 2 weeks with their mother. And Paula angrily agrees. The actual funeral is winding down. We see Evelyn Prescott fixing her daughters, Rosie and Danny's hair, telling them it's time to go home because little Rosie has a beauty competition in the morning and she needs her beauty sleep. And we move back to Maya and the actual at her house, and the mourners have left her home. We see how broken she is and how hopeless she feels without her husband, Carl. She can't eat, sleep, or stop crying. She is a massive mess. Aaron has to go, Deli has to go, and soon it's just Paula and Maya at the house. And we see Paula staring at her mother, and she shakes her head with disgust mixed with pity and walks away from her mother. And there's a knock at the front door, and Frank Winters is there to give his condolences to Maya and Paula. Frank says, "Hi, my apologies for disturbing you at this time, ma'am, but my name is Frank Winters. I came to pay my respects to the Bowen family and to Mrs. Bowen and her family." Paula says, "That's nice of you. I'd invite you in, but my mom's, pretty upset right now. I'm Maya. I'm Maya's daughter, Paula." Sorry. Frank extends his hand out to shake Paula's hand. "I'm real sorry about your loss, ma'am. Your daddy was a good man. His passing is a big loss." Lord, of course you know that. Of course you. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to imply you weren't. Paula interrupts him and says, "It's okay. I understand exactly what you meant." And he says, "Thank you, ma'am. If you would let your mom know I stopped by, or I'll just come by another time. I don't want to trouble you." "Mr. Winters, it's no trouble. I'll let her know that you came by, or you can just come by another time. It's no big deal." "Ma'am, it wouldn't sit right with me unless you called me Frank. That Mr. Winters junk never fit well on me." "Okay, but only if you call me Paula. Ma'am doesn't fit well on me neither." She gently laughs at the joke that she made at him. "Well, that will suit me just fine, Paula. Please let your mama know that I came by to give my condolences. I don't want to trouble your family any further." It's really okay, Frank. I'll tell her you came by and, thank you for your condolences. I really loved my dad. He was a good guy. Indeed, he was. Well, good night, ma'am. Paula, I'm sorry. I meant to say good night, Paula. Night, Frank, Paula called and shut the door. Right as Paula enters her mother's bedroom, Maya asks, who was at the door? Some weirdo named Frank. Said to give you his condolences. Maya chuckled. Oh, I never got to speak to him after the funeral or after. Oh, God, I hope he's not mad at me. I highly doubt that, Mom. He kept apologizing for troubling us, just like giving me weird vibes. No, Frank is one of the good ones. He always helps Carl with this stupid house. He'd help Carl with anything. Maya breaks down crying. Paula hugs her mom. It's okay, Mom. You'll feel better soon. You'll get past this. You just gotta hang on, okay? Oh, baby, I don't know if this is something I can get past. We're talking about the death of your father. We were married over 40 years. He was my life. That's the point, Mom. Dad was your life. You made him your life. It was your choice. Now he's gone, and you have to make a choice to move on without him. I'm not ready to make that choice, shouts Maya. People grieve differently, Paula. I can't just move on without your father. It's not as simple as you think. Yes, it is. And I think you should begin by selling this house. Maya's eyes go wide with disbelief. It seems like she's going to snap back at her daughter, but then she takes a moment to contemplate what Paula said and says, if you think the best thing for me is selling this house, I'll think about it, okay? But where would I go if I sold this house? That's easy. Move to Washington and live near Marcus and your grandchildren. Isn't that what parents do when your kids grow up? They want to be near their grandchildren. I don't know. I've never thought about it. Paula places the top comforter on her mom, tucking her in. Well, now you can think about that instead of Daddy. Think about your future and what you want in life. Okay. Now, good night and have sweet dreams. You're not sleeping in my room with me? Paula's back was turned to Maya, and she rolled her eyes and made an angry face before turning back to her mom with a smile as if everything were just fine. No, Mom, we talked about this. We're grown women. We don't need to sleep in each other's bed together. But just for tonight, please, Paula. Sure. Okay, I guess, but let me just get ready for bed and I'll be back in about 30 minutes. And as soon as Paula leaves Maya's room, she grabs a small travel bag, scampers quietly outside through the back door. And once outside, she finds the darkest spot in the backyard and just cops a squat right there on the grass. She pulls out a joint, she pulls out a cigarette, and lights up the joint. Inhale, feeling better. Exhale, feeling even better. Now, as Paula smokes, she says to herself, God, I probably have time for 4 drags and a smoke before I have to go inside. Better make this shit fast before that fucking bitch finds me. She looks around the backyard as she smokes, and it's nearly midnight, but Paula's not spooked. It's her second night in Morningvale, and she's freaking angry. She was never supposed to stay here past one night. Why didn't she force Marcus and his family to stay here? Why didn't she force Marcus to take her mom? She honestly felt that she was acting like her mother in a sense of letting people walk all over them. Paula rubs her head and says, how the fuck am I going to make it in this town for 2 weeks? Suddenly, Paula hears footsteps on the other side of the fence. She continues smoking, not worrying about it because she thinks it's just the neighbors. Then, the footsteps stop right on the opposite side of where Paula sits. She wants to call out and say hello to the neighbor, but she stops when she hears something faint. She leans closer to the fence. It sounds like a dog sniffing for a place to pee. Paula almost laughs out loud when the dog starts growling very low. And Paula stops cold when she realizes the growl wasn't the typical, small dog growl. Paula assumed that it was a big freaking dog. And goosebumps, form on her arms because she know dogs, that big can jump the fence. Her gut tells her to run, and that's what she does. She flicks that cigarette and makes a run for the back door. She opens it, slams it shut, and did think that she heard something running behind her. So she did look back out the window, and she can't see anything. The moon is no longer full, and it's pitch black outside. There is a back porch light, but Paula would have to turn it on. She slowly moves toward the light switch, breathing heavily as she extends her hands. Something is in the backyard. She can see it. She can make out a massive black shape in the darkness. And the growl, that was unmistakable and so much closer. She felt it coming for her as she made a dash to turn on the light. When she flipped it on, Paula looked out the window and saw nothing. She lets out a huge sigh of relief and laughs to herself for being stupidly scared. "Paula, baby, is that you?" calls Maya from the bedroom. "Yeah, Mom, it's just me." Paula shuts off the back light and goes to her mother's room. "I thought I heard a big-ass dog outside." "Could have been anything," says Maya as she fixes her pillows. "We're right next to the mountain. Town surrounded by forest. Anything could be in those woods." "Mom, are you serious? I was just out. I mean, you should have warned me." And Maya just shrugs her shoulders and she's like, nothing gets close to this town. Something must have been lost in the dark. I don't think so. This sounded massive. Maya says, "Oh, Deli's got a Rottweiler. Damn dog must have gotten out of the house again." Paula says, "Compared to what I heard, that dog must be ginormous." "It is," Paula laughs and pats the bed. "Come on, baby, you ready to sleep?" "Yeah, let me brush my teeth first." As Paula went to sleep in her mother's bed, she couldn't stop speculating on what was outside of her house that night. Was it an animal? Some kind of monster? Paula finally closed her eyes and went to sleep. Okay, now we shift to the next day, where we shift to Sally in Chief Wade Foster's office at the police station. She is giving him details of the casket and the body that was found in the cemetery the day before. She says, "It's the same, Chief. Victim appears to have multiple lacerations, broken bones, contusions, and injuries, but was put back together in a black suit and laid to rest in a handmade wooden casket. The victim's name and date of birth are carved on the top of the casket. I'm still waiting for the full autopsy and forensic report, but as you know, that takes a week or two. Chief, this is the 5th victim in 6 months. There's more than enough evidence to show that this is the work of one man." Chief Foster says, "Now, what did I tell you about making those kind of accusations, Sally says, "But you can't deny that the FBI says," and Wade scoffs and cuts her off. "The FBI? The only people that they only know 2 people, Jack and shit." I love that line. Sally hides her laughter. "That may be, sir, but the press are digging deeper in this than we are. The people aren't stupid. They know what we refuse to say." Wade says, "They don't know anything unless we tell them, Sally. They can make these connections all they want, but we're the police. We run this town. We tell them the facts, not the press. And not those who won't stop gossiping with anyone that comes in their path. You have to take control of this, Sally, if you ever want to be chief of police when I retire." "Yes, sir, but don't we have an obligation to our people? I mean, there's someone out there killing people. Give them a chance to take precautions. We don't know there's a man out there doing this. For all we know, it could be an animal ripping those people apart." "Well, with all due respect, sir, but an animal wouldn't put the bodies back together, place them in a suit and tie, a casket, and etch their name in wood," says Sally. She looked down immediately after, not even daring to meet eyes with Wade. He points his long index finger at her. "Now you listen to me, and you listen good, Sally Eugenia Kennedy. I'm only going to tell you this once, and you're going to follow my rules in my police force, or I will fire you. Do you understand?" Sally shakes her head repeatedly. Yes, sir. I apologize for questioning you. You, you've just done so much for me. I don't want to let you down. And that's when Wade takes a deep breath. You know, Sally, I knew I was making the right choice for you back then. When your parents died, it was like the world literally exploded to pieces. You was only 15 years old and so determined to live by yourself in that damn house. No one thought you could do it, but I did. I knew the kind of soul you are. Hardworking, responsible, and good. No matter what life throws at you, your parents dying, your best friend going missing in high school, you always made it out tougher than when you went in. That's why I picked you as my successor. That's why I know you will solve this case before I can be officially labeled. Oh, before it can be officially labeled as a serial killer case. You will stop him, Sally. I know in my gut you will. Shall I keep saying Shelly. I don't understand. I'm sorry. I think I'm trying to say Shelly and Sally. Sally shakes her head in agreement. I will. Thank you, sir. Sally leaves the chief's office and goes to her desk. Officer Nancy Crane sits on the edge of Sally's desk. Hey, how's it going? Asks Nancy. Pretty fucking bad, replies Sally. I'm fucking stuck here. Okay, I know the cure for this. Let's go get a drink and talk it out. We can't. We're on duty. Hey, Billy! Nancy calls to Detective Bill Langley. We're off duty for the rest of the night. Think you can handle the station yourself? Get the fuck out of my sight, Officer Crane, Bill replies without turning around. Nancy grabs Sally's hand and runs out of the station. All right, we are almost getting there, guys. Just keep hanging on. I really appreciate it. Like I said, these are full 1-hour episodes. I'm not cutting any corners here. The episode moves to the funeral home where Lily and Tom are in the embalming room having a heated discussion. Why the fuck did this have to happen now? We're so damn close to leaving this godforsaken place, shouts Lily. Calm down, Lillian. The last thing we need is for you to get upset. Make a mistake and blow this for us, says Tom. I might make a mistake? I'm not the one out there killing people and dropping caskets in our lawn. This casket fucker is going to ruin our plan. Tom says, fuck that guy. If anything, he's giving us more business, more opportunities to leave this place faster. Lily says, do I look like a woman that needs money, Thomas? Tom scoffs at her. Of course you don't. You're fabulous, petite, and very sexy. But you have to remember that the faster the bodies come, the faster we can leave. Lily says, but what if the police find... Shh. He places his finger over her lips as he comes closer to her face. No one's going to find anything. We're safe. We've been safe. Lily scoffs. Huh. Except for that MaryGirl bitch in high school. He pushes his face closer to Lily's, their lips mere inches apart. He looks deep into her eyes and strokes her hair. And we didn't have to lift a finger for that, did we? Michael killed her and buried her body here. It's a good thing, Lillian. Let's take that good and leave Morningvale with it. We can start over and finally be who we really are. Lily gently pushes him back. If you want that to happen, Buster, you better get going on fixing our transportation. He says, hey, I told you, it's already ready. I'll do some more checks as we get closer to leaving, okay? Don't bust my balls about it now. We won't be ready until next year. Lily says, well, we've waited this long. I guess I can wait just a little longer. That's my girl, says Tom as he strokes Lily's leg. Tell you what, if it'll make you happy, I'll go check on the transportation and I'll make your favorite dinner. We can watch Dallas on the television. Lily sheepishly smiles and says, sounds like heaven. All right, I'll meet you in the parlor, 40 minutes. It's a date, says Lily. Lily giggles as Tom leaves the room. Now, we are going to shift now to Sally and Nancy, who are drinking at a local bar. The place is not busy, but it's not quiet either. A penny for your thoughts, but I'll pay $1 if they're interesting, says Nancy. Sally laughs. Just thinking about the case. Oh, no, you don't. You promised me we won't talk about this until the second beer. This is our second beer. It is? Really? Sally says, yeah. Yeah, it is. Then we need a third. Waitress, another round over here. Come on, Nancy. I won't solve anything by getting drunk. This makes Nancy laugh so hard that she nearly spits out her beer. She says, then you haven't been drunk properly. Sally says, I'm serious. Okay, I am too now. I'm perfectly serious. And then Nancy laughs out loud. Sally is visibly annoyed. She says, I thought you were trying to help me. Sorry, babe. I'm really sorry. I just had to have a laugh. Oh, felt good to laugh. Now I feel better and wiggly. Great, mutters Sally. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, look, do you want to know what I think? Sally says, not really. Nancy says, I think your unsub is from this town. I think we know him. Shit, I think everyone knows him. Sally's ears sort of perk up. What makes you think that? Nancy says, the facts. The fact is Morningvale isn't a touristy town. There's no advertisements, no attractions, nothing to lure people here. The fact is the town is pretty much hidden by the mountains and the forest. The fact is the only way in and out of town. The fact is that there's only one way in and out of town, and that is Main Street. The focus is Main Street is always busy, not with visitors, but with townspeople. The fact is they are observant, and those townspeople always keep an eye out for outsiders. If someone new came into this town, we'd know about it. And the fact is, you can't find our town unless you know where it is. So our killer must be local, whispers Sally. Exactly. But we've talked to almost everyone in town. That means you've already talked to the killer, Nancy finishes. But I don't understand. How does a man tear someone apart? You think the unsub is an animal? I mean, it makes sense. I just don't understand how they could end up dressed up and in coffins. Maybe the hearts have something to do with it. Maybe they know more than they let on. Nancy shakes her head. I don't think it was them. What brought you to that conclusion? Well, I've been watching them since the first murder, and they don't have hand-carved caskets in their funeral home, and they're always together. I mean, like, always together. Sally asks, you've been watching them? Of course, they're suspects. Sally says, no, I'm glad. I just didn't know. Haven't you been reading my reports? Asks Nancy with narrow eyes. Not yet. I'm sorry, Nancy. You know, one day I won't be here. I won't be here to solve this police department's cases for them. Sally's confused, just like, huh? You take advantage of my assistance, ignore my work, my help, my intuition, and don't even read my reports? Sally says, I've been and that's when Nancy interrupts and says, busy? Right. Well, I've been busy too. I've been busy busting my ass doing your work on the ground so you can be in the station doing your so-called work. Just remember this, Sally. One day you're going to need me, and I will choose not to be there. Nancy gets up and leaves the table. Nancy, wait, I'm sorry, says Sally. But Nancy leaves the bar and leaves Sally behind feeling terrible. Okay, this is the final scene in the episode. The final scene ends with Larissa's boys. Oh, I'm sorry. Larisse is a grocery store worker. She has 3 young boys, Jamal, Trey, and Tim. Jamal's 16, Trey is like 13, and Tim is 11. Okay, so the 3 boys have snuck out of their house to the cemetery. Jamal and Trey tell Tim that, he's too little to come with them, but, he's got to go back home. But Tim doesn't want to go back home. He wants to follow his big brothers. So the older boys go to the cemetery because they want to see where the casket man has dumped the bodies of his victims. And that's when they discover that Tim is there. So they decide, well, he's with them already, so they might as well all 3 go together. So they all 3 enter the cemetery on the far side of the funeral home property. And the boys check out the graveyard. They try to spook one another and eventually decide that it's time to leave and go back home before their mother realizes that they're gone. Now, on the way home, they stumble across a building in an empty section of the cemetery. They see lights inside the building, but the lights are flickering, and there's a sound like a massive engine cranking up. They go to the window, and Jamal looks outside. We don't see what he sees, but after he looks inside, for just a minute, he stops and he screams for his brothers to run. He screams for them to run and not look back. And that is the end of episode 1. So that is it. That is it. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, MaryGirl Moody. Thank you so much, everybody, for the sweet words. I really appreciate that so much. Episode 2 and 3 are basically done as well. I have the major twists, all that stuff already planned out. But for me, I have to say, writing American Horror Story Mortuary is so different than writing a book or a short story. Because when I write, I'm a shower. I'm not a teller. I'm going to show, sorry. I'm a teller, not a shower. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm a shower. That's right. I said it right the first time. I don't just tell people what's going on. I show them what's going on. It's not going to be, oh, the little girl went down the street to go visit her grandmother's house. No. I'm going to tell you what she's wearing. I'm going to tell you how she's, how her attitude is, what the ground looks like, the flowers that are surrounding it, and the attitude of her grandmother. I have to show you what is actually going on so you can picture it in your head. With this, no, I don't need to show you shit. I have to tell you. And I'm just not used to that. So it's taken a little time. That's why the episodes are coming so slowly, because I have to adjust my style in order to complete the episodes. But I do have episode 1, 2, and 3 finished. Episode 2 and 3 are a 2-part Halloween special. And I'm so excited because American Horror Story hasn't brought really Halloween back in their episodes, but I have a 2-part Halloween episode, and I will discuss that next week. I'll discuss episode 2 with you guys. And that's, again, Halloween. And then episode 3, which is the Halloween episode. And then there is a Christmas episode. And like I said, there's 13 full 1-hour-long episodes. So yeah, this is, oh yeah. Like I said, I put so much work and thought into this. Like last night, guys, after that live stream sadly cut off, I went and just decided, well, I'll just do something good for the bad because live stream ended. Excuse me. And I just went and I just started writing more and realizing, okay, well, now that I've switched, now that I've kind of gotten used to the switch and that I'm telling you instead of showing you, it's easier. I'm not going to lie. I don't like it. I don't like writing scripts. It's not my thing, but I will do it for American Horror Story because I love American Horror Story. Okay, so you guys, if you wouldn't mind letting me know what you thought down in the comments, I'd be very grateful. So again, that episode 1 was titled Ashes to Echoes. And again, this is all created and written by me. Excuse me. Now, one thing I want to ask you guys, since you've heard of the first episode, you kind of get a general sensation of, Morning Veil, things like that. Tell me, do you have any thoughts? Now, don't, if you guys already know like what is going to happen, don't spoil it. But if you have any theories like right now, like who's the casket man, things like that, just let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your theories and know what you guys think. And I think it's also fun too to go through them episode by episode to see how people react to that, how they like them, and if it's actually going as good as I'm thinking. And as far as I know, this is no way better than American Horror Story Asylum or Coven or any of that stuff. No. Mortuary is not that good, but I definitely listed above Red Tide and Death Valley. like I said, I'm just so proud of it. I'm just so proud of it, and I really hope that you guys are enjoying it. Thank you so much. Blaze says, I love it. Blaze says, I feel like the police are in on it. Keep that. Keep that, because that's right. 100%. There's so many plot twists and turns and backstories. I mean, guys, trust me. I spent years developing this show, or this season. Years. I've been telling you guys for years that I have been working on American Horror Story Mortuary. And now it's just time. It's so well done and thought out and so together that literally all it needs to do is just be written. So thank you so much, guys. Blaze says, I love it. Merman Eli says, it's nice to challenge yourself by doing a different writing style and changing things up. Absolutely. White Bear Production said it feels like 6 Feet Under, but if Rob Zombie made the series and turned it into horror, LOL. Actually, yeah, that's what I'm kind of going for. The whole season is, that's the theme of the season, is grief and mourning, losing people, and how we deal with it, and how other people are just like, oh, it's no big deal. We can move on. And then other people are just crushed. And it's how other people also deal with it around them. Like Maya is crushed, but a lot of people, her daughter and Deli, are telling her just to move on. But other people like Frank and Evelyn are letting her know, like, take your time. Do what's best for you. This is hard. Love yourself. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I am, that's what I'm trying here. That's absolutely what I'm trying. And everybody in the episodes going forward experiences loss. It's not a depressing loss, though. It's a horror kind of loss. And I also have 2 cases. That's one thing, too, that I brought back for my season of AHS Mortuary, is that this season is based on 2 actual cases. 2 cases, 2 real cases that actually happened. So I integrated those true crimes into this season. I wanted to integrate one more true crime into this season, but guys, I shit you not, I created 30 characters for AHS Mortuary. Let me just show you. Present. Characters. All right, here we go. This is all of the characters right here. Everybody. Uh-oh, hold on. Never mind. Stop sharing. Oh my God. I don't want to, you'll see the spoilers. Oh my God. Shoot. To try to cut that out. 30 characters. 30 characters. All of them with wives, daughters, names, backstories, years, times, attitudes, personalities, backstories upon backstories. I just showed you guys spoilers. Oh my God. Well, hopefully it wasn't too bad. Did it show that right there? Oh my God. I'm going to have to go back and probably just kind of like, maybe just have to like re-upload this, because I think I might have spoiled some things by doing that. Oh, I'm so silly. Okay. Yeah, so it's, oh yeah, 30 characters. It's insane. Thank you so much. White Bear Production says it's good. Merman Eli says no theories, but you should use subtle things that have meanings, motifs, flowers, color, psychology. You know, if I have time, I will do that. Or if AHS wants to pick up the season, they can do it. It is very difficult for one person to do all of the writing, the characters, the twists, the dialogue, everything. I mean, I'm doing it. I did it. However, now I'm not going to lie. I'm going to think that American Horror Story is pulling out some bullshit when they are talking about how, oh, it takes time to put together a season and blah, blah, blah. Bitch. I'm one person. And I know all that stuff was my ideas that it came up, but I didn't actually start expanding on them until January of this year. So in 3 months, I have basically come up with the backstories, the twists, the shocks, the thrills, the chills, everything. So, yeah, I mean, I can't tell us anymore. Oh my God, I don't know if we'll have time to do bitch, if I can do it, a full-time mother of 4, yeah, no, if I can do it, you can do it too. I feel like the captain knows is a secret and trying to cover it up. I'm making a free game based on AHS Coven. It'll be ready by 420. I can't wait to see that, Merman Eli. Guys, don't forget, if you are like enjoying the stream, please thumb it up. I'd be very grateful. Merman Eli says, underneath the veil of MaryGirl, a witch goes to investigate a family's disappearance and strange paranormal events in the home. It's a 2D pixel style. Woo! I love that. I love that. White Bear says Bruce would be a good addition. Yeah, especially for his character that I have planned for what's going to happen to him. I wish writers had as much dedication as you and Debbie. I know, right? I should ask Debbie to help me on this. But this is all mine. I got to put this all together myself and show that this is my baby. So, yeah. But that is the episode, guys. Now, the next episode that I'll be talking about is called Broken Hearts, Open Graves. That's the title for episode 2. And again, it's a 2-part Halloween special. So episode 2 happens on the day of Halloween and into the night. And then episode 3 is actually the Halloween night. So, oh, I love it. Those are probably my 2 favorite episodes so far, aside from the ending. But yeah, Merman Eli says, I could literally turn one of your AHS scripts into a story-based fan game. Oh my God, really? That would be badass. We should do that. That would be badass. Okay, guys, thank you again so much for being here today. I hear the thunder rolling in, and I got to make sure that I start getting things ready. My kids have school ready again tomorrow. Spring break is over. And I'm also making the video on the characters. I'm going to actually start putting out a video on breaking down every character with pictures and stuff like that. And then same thing with like the episodes and everything once I've actually got it all done. So, but yeah, I just wanted everybody to start getting familiar with the characters and start memorizing names and fitting in faces to names, because that's what really helps me understand the season when I'm going back and I'm trying to rewrite or reread what I wrote, make sure it's comprehensive. I have to have like Billy Lord in my head as Sally, as the person reading it, speaking, in order to actually get into the character. So yeah. Anyway, I love you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for all of your kindness and your support. Don't forget to like the stream if you enjoyed it. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for being here. See you next Saturday. And new videos come out this week as usual. Love you guys so much. Thank you all again for watching, and beware of our girl, like Merman Eli's. And beware of Siobhan and Sexy Scathage and Debbie Ebby Babebby. Bye, guys. Good night.